Hey, what's up guys? Towels here with a Project Diablo 2 video from Season 12. Been a little late getting one out this season, so about 3 weeks in here. Just missed Senpai's character showcase, so I'll kind of do my own here. And can start off with some highlights from the season. Like this +2 Arcane's Valor, slammed this one for 3 open sockets, baby. So sold this one to a buddy for about 8 high runes pretty early in the season. High Lord's Wrath here next. Slammed this one for 2 skills. Yep, did not choose the Lucy on this one. Sold that for about 4 high runes instead. And then this 2 Heart of the Wolverine Spirit Keeper. Also slammed for 3 open sockets on this. Great bossing helmet right there. Did Lucy on a few things. Also, I've been paying for boss services for the first time ever. And so got this one 10 faster run walk on this 4 curse amulet. Technically at the time I didn't really need the FCR so on the one that I had slammed previous to that, so it was kind of interesting for that. The 20 FCRs are rats. I actually found 3 of these in very quick succession. Super strange, never found a 20 before, and I was slamming like 10 faster hit recovery, 10 faster run walk, 10 strength on each of them, just no 10 FCR. But this trade with a mix of currencies was an interesting one. I just wanted to show, especially with all those PoE sounds that have been added now. Anyway, so yeah, this season's been off to a really hot start, really good. Was able to run Dark Pact for the first time ever, and so really enjoying the build. Despite what people say about it being kind of a difficult build to play, I really enjoy it. Currently level 97, and I think I'll push it to level 99 before the end of the season. It's one of the last things I'll do. And so for the gear, I can start with the main change that came out this season was really this the magic skill damage affix being available on wands, in addition to like fire skills, poison skills I'm aware of. But basically this is a huge damage boost, specifically for teeth and for Dark Pact, because it's magic damage and you don't get mastery in a lot of places. Really the only other option is going to be your inventory. And so when you're talking about beating, the previous best in slot item really would have been your Black Hand Key, and it's still a really good wand for the build. I was pretty much a plain one for a good portion of the first like 2 weeks or so. But that mastery adds so much. So you only have 63% mastery, so that's almost a third, I guess a quarter, I guess, of your mastery in one item there. Going from about 5.7k damage up to over 6.4, so big difference there. And if I bow up, you can see I'm running about 6.6 in maps currently. So I'm actually not spec'd for max damage anyway. I'm actually just over 7k if I do, but I've got points in revive, bone armor, and then no blood warp, but 1 in every curse. So curse mastery for Dark Pact is a major synergy, and so Iron Maiden being the other one, that if you max that, then you can actually reach higher DPS for it. But instead I've maxed out Amplify Damage, Lower Resist, for each of those being kind of the best damage ones, as well as Decrepify, both for safety and for additional damage, and then Weaken. And I've kept all of those at the same radius of 14 yards, and so that's kind of what I've done to allocate the skills. And then Dim Vision is a fun one also, especially on a map like Ashen Plains when you're dealing with souls. If you don't have a assassin running Cloak of Shadows, that's actually really fun to go and kind of target those and turn off the lights on each of those. I think it'll be helpful for dungeon support potentially, if that's something I end up doing a little bit later too. But yeah, so that's mostly the skills. You can play around with that, have any mix of different ones you want, but when it comes to the actual playstyle for this and what people get into a lot of confusion about or have a lot of hesitation with the build is the skill rotation. And so you can see with quick cast, sorry, it's actually quite easy. You kind of just cast your curses near you and let the radius kind of take over everything around you, and then you just hold down Dark Pact in kind of like a circle around you or just wherever the packs of monsters are, and they just blow up, right? So boom, you don't really have to aim the curses themselves because of the big radius. and it's just the dark pact that you hold, and just pop any packs that are around you. And you're really just trying to pop the big packs. Individuals don't really um, matter. It's really terrible single target damage. So I can't even kill map bosses, let alone Ubers or anything like that. So I haven't run any of that all season. Um, the next big piece on the build is this Enigma, which I did happen to roll first try, perfect strength, perfect MF on, with a good defense roll as well. And so this is the first Enigma I've run in probably like 6 or 7 seasons. But I'm not running Blood Warp, although in maps a lot of people do have points in Blood Warp just because you do get kind of limited by the blinks. So on the circlet, I did run faster run walk on this one though. So I have a +1, +4 curses with 30 faster run walk, blue circlet here. The faster run walk really does help with those in between period for blinks and also just for looting in general, because you pop a pack far away from you, you got to run over and grab that loot, right? So something else that I was running previous to this, because it was really hard to find actually, was this 320 circlet, which I Larzucked for 2 sockets. So all 3 of my Larzuck quests went on blue items, and they all got 2 sockets, which was really sweet to get. It was a nice bonus for the beginning of the season. I also ran Mermans at some point. This is my old wand as well, so 6+6 with magic damage and 10 FCR was pretty clutch, because moving to Enigma off of like Spirit Shroud or V Magi, or actually I had a +2 Hagens is what I was using. And then here's the other +4 amulet that you saw in the Lucian. This one with the faster cast rate is the one I'm back to now. We'll still keep an eye out for a +5 or something like that, but the other plus skill I can also get is a +1 on the Dark Force spawn, because I'm currently using a CBF one here. The 2 sockets for Umbrans, of course, huge for res, but technically I can just put a Cham in the circlet and have CBF there. So yeah, the FCR on the Trangul's gloves, there's best in slot, no option there. This is a self-found BK ring with +3 MPK slam on it, so really happy when I was able to slam that one. And then I'm not actually running all that much as far as LPK MPK, but it's plenty for single maps right now. And then this FHR slam on my racks, like I mentioned earlier, it's 20 FCR Iraq season for me. I don't know how that happened, but happy to have that one. You really hurt for FHR on this build, so the slam is very, very useful in that regard. And then this Wisp Projector also. These are the only 2 skill rings I found, basically. They both survived, and this one got 10 strength. The last is these rare boots that I bought. These are the sickest. I've had quad res boots before, but this is with 30 faster run walk and a perfect 25 MF, and the rep on it. You can see that res wise, I need every bit of it essentially. So it's absolutely insane to have that. And at some point, I'm getting a lot of folks telling me that I should buy all this before the end of the season. And I just might do that. I don't know if anybody might be interested in mirroring it either, but something I'll think about for sure. Yeah, really like those. For Annie, again, I didn't kill any bosses this season, and so this is my first Annie that I bought, and it's slammed it with +2 skills. So the reason I bought this one, actually, early on I was being really selective because I hated the idea of even paying for these, again, just because I haven't killed any bosses myself. This build can't even kill map bosses, so I'm definitely not even thinking about Ubers with it. I've been running maps and just completely skipping them. But the reason why I picked this Annie was because even though it had 34 vitality, it has good energy roll, and I am running bone armor, and I have been all season, and really good res, as well as 10 XP, right? So there's a lot of value in that XP stat as well, because I knew I was going to Rathmit at some point, and so out of the 4 possibilities, aside from Brick, if you had plus skills, all res, or XP on it, they would all be great slams to add a ton of value. And then this Necro Torch 20 all res, I bought this one pretty early on. Was happy to spend the runes for that just because I am not too picky about them. If it has the res, then I can just use it for the rest of the season. So so I haven't upgraded it. The rest of the inventory is going to be magic charms. These FHR ones are super expensive, as well as these perfect life ones. I only have a couple of those. In fact, I even am running some planes, I think. Yep. And then I have this one curse with FHR as well. And then the last one is actually this Geeds that I found. This is the best hands down Geeds I've ever found. Almost completely perfect, just 2 MF off of that. So it was really cool to find that one as well. And it was fun for sure. So with that and the Enigma and a little bit else, I have 145 MF, which is really nice for single solo maps when I'm farming. Other breakpoints is 125 for cast rate, so you see I'm over that. Run walk 85 is really nice. FHR, I have 53, so it's just short of the next one. But as far as mercenary goes, I am running Heavenly Garb on a defensive Merc because I've only got 6% PDR on my own. This 3-socket Vamp Gaze only had 15 PDR, so it's not that valuable, but it's still really good for the Merc. He's got really jank gear because I've been kind of messing around with it, and ultimately this insight that I was running on him is the only thing he actually needs. The Sanctuary Aura on the Heavenly Garb is pretty optional also, to be honest, and so I was running Purity at some point. At some point I had a Iron Golem to run Purity or Meditation on as well, but that just kept dying. So this is essentially the build. You've still got as many synergies as you want to put points into too, though. So like technically until 99, you've still got whatever points you want to put in for more damage too. But yeah, so that's pretty much the build. That's the highlights for the season so far. I am going to go ahead and open up this map. You can see a full map run on Bastion Keep, which is I think the best in slot one for that. Just because, especially because when you start off in this map, they have witches, and so when you go in and kill some of those, you can immediately revive them, and they will cast that Blood Mana curse for you as well. So that'll count as one of the curses that your Dark Pact skill can consume. So the additional curses on the monsters helps to increase the damage, 33% per curse, as well as the radius of the explosion. And so why this is a pretty much only map density clearing build is because the explosion for each monster has a radius, and so when they're really tightly packed on top of each other, those radiuses kind of combine, I believe, and so that's where you see the really big amount of damage clearing out very large like areas of packs in one shot, which is what makes this one actually like pretty fun to play, but also pretty fast mapper at that point. So you can see just absolutely flattening a specific area within the radius when you've got multiple curses on. So Decrepify first for safety essentially, and then you're blinking in really close, casting your additional curses, and then using Dark Pact to kill them. So I have blink on right click. Like my hotkeys personally are 1, 2, 3, 4 for this. So your first 3 curses, and then Dark Pact, kind of just hold down for however many packs of monsters you need to kill around you. So it is a messy clear also, again, because it's just bad single target. It's not worth it to kill those stragglers. If there's a group behind me, I'll go ahead and do that, because those little reanimated monsters come into play, where that means like all of your leftover monsters behind you will kind of continue to follow, and so sometimes you get a decent sized pack behind you that you go ahead and just turn around, like hit that pack, see what happens from there. So that's pretty much the map clear, right? I'm aiming for about 5 minutes in this map on most of the layouts, and then try to keep things within 1 battle orders, basically 1 buff round, which is kind of a nice goal to aim for. So it's pretty fast mapper. It's pretty good at this. Some builds I think you might be able to reach it where you only need to cast 2 curses and then Dark Pact. So if you limit that rotation, then you definitely want to have Blood Warp points in the Blood Warp to help supplement the blinks in your Enigma as well, because you'll see that I run out of blinks on occasion, and then I want to take some steps and run around, to actually do that. Also, I'm looting very little at this point in the season and have been for a while. I've really been focused mostly on just big uniques and some high runes because I don't enjoy making small trades anymore either. It does mean that I have to buy shards and map orbs and like crafting mats or whatever. I have to buy each of those, but I don't really mind spending for that because it's just so much added convenience. So at the end of this map, you do go, I take the red portal back just as kind of a shortcut. I will pick up this Spirit Shroud this time, and then go back to kind of clearing out the rest of the map. So you'll see, yeah, it's just once you go clear the other side of it, you'll pretty much finish up the entire map. Yeah, especially the revives I really like, just because 1 point revives is pretty broken as far as how stable or how tanky these guys are. So even the witches that don't have a lot of native HP, you can see that they're surviving just fine through here. And I haven't even actually VO'd them either. I revive them after I VO, and I just don't even bother to give them the extra life for that. Yeah, pretty satisfying. I love these pops. Reminds me a little bit of Sacrifice for the big area of effect that it can pop all at once and you just kind of see everything flatten. Really nice. If you miss a curse though, you can see that you'll leave significant stragglers. Oftentimes like an entire pack might not even die, which is frustrating, but you just want to get that timing down of within your cast frames, but also like trying not to get hit and put in the faster hit recovery to miss a cast. But yeah, generally speaking, it's actually pretty easy to play. It's not as bad, especially once you have gear. Early on, you have to be a little more careful, and so I was running very slow maps. Probably like 18-minute T1 on day 2, so I probably switched a little too early. I started off the season, hey, nice big mystery high rune here, so that means Sir or higher on the Kasahi loot filter, but he added these mystery ones. It's kind of fun, just have to wait to kind of figure out what actually dropped in your map. But yeah, what I was saying was that I started off the season with clay golems and ran Travancore, and so that was the first time I ever did that. I got a low rune on day 1, and then I kind of just rushed my way over into switching to Dark Pact because I knew I wanted to play it, and kind of forced my way into maps with it too, which probably not recommended. A little bit more plus skills and like full. At first, I was running full skillers, like really unoptimal version of the build. But it was still good enough and safe enough to just nap with and kind of work my way through it. And I very quickly got into like sub 10-minute T1s, and then was able to run like Tombs of Zoltan Cool as well as Bastion Keeps really pretty efficiently. So that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video of the season so far for me. Maybe I'll try to get a little bit more content out related to like my 99 push and maybe some dungeons if that ends up happening in all these seasons. But again, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one. Peace.